There are 5 things I have learned about in working with children and trauma: theory of mind, disassociation, RAD, reactive attachment disorder, prediction, routine, stability, and failure to thrive. Theory of mind. This is needed in order to socially function with people. People need to know that orders are distinct from them. They have different knowledge, interests, and desires. Having a theory of mind is being able to reflect on the contents of one's own and others' mind. For children with autism, this is blurred. They do not understand that other people don't know what they know. For example, in an experiment conducted, researchers would have a candy tube and would have put a pencil in it. They would then ask neurotypical children what they expected someone outside the room would think was in the tube. Children answered candy. When the same question was asked to children with autism, they would answer pencil. The children knew the candy was gone, so their logical assumption was that everyone else must know too. The brain regions involved in coding theory of mind are believed to be in the left medial frontal cortex above the eyes. In relation to Leon, in the book The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog, he is described as a sociopath. He has a theory of mind, but it is twisted. They lack empathy and putting themselves in others' shoes. Sociopaths are unable to create a relationship because they are selfish and they believe others act in their own self-interest as well. RAD is reactive attachment disorder. This occurs in children who have been severely neglected in early stages of life. Children who have RAD lack empathy, have an inability to connect with others, and they have manipulative and antisocial behavior. This is seen in Leon, since at a young age he was left by his mother and brother in his apartment alone. His early life was inconsistent. Sometimes he would get a lot of attention, and other times he would get no attention at all. Leon had been deprived of the critical stimulation necessary to develop the brain areas that modulate stress and link pleasure and comfort with human company. The brain needs patterned, repetitive stimuli to develop properly. Spastic, unpredictable relief from fear, loneliness, discomfort, and hunger keeps the baby's stress system on high alert. Leon did not understand the relationships. He did not connect well with people. He only got close to people to get something from them. This is when Leon learned to manipulate behavior, and he was not able to create relationships. This was misdiagnosed to James by many therapists who believed he had RAD. When he worked with Dr. Perry and Stephanie, Stephanie was able to connect with James and was going to miss working with him. Dr. Perry knew that children with RAD were not easy to connect with. Therefore, he did not have RAD. Disassociation is a state where people become disconnected from reality and move into a dream-like consciousness. These experiences are linked with the release of high-level opioids, which is the brain's natural heroin-like substance that kill pain and produce a common sense of distance from one's troubles. When people experience life-threatening experience, they describe a disconnection and unreality and numbness that is similar to what people feel like when they take opioid drugs. Amber experienced disassociation during her trauma experience. Amber would enter a dreamlike state where she would enter into a fantasy where she saw herself as a raven and was most powerful. Routine, prediction, and stability. Children who have experienced trauma need to have prediction and routine in their life. Without this, children start to not feel safe and it becomes anxiety provoking. In the case of Amber, when she was being sexually assaulted by her mother's boyfriend, she was anxious when she did not know when the assault would happen next. And being able to predict and control when the abuse would happen, it took away the anxiety. For children, it is important that they have control in their lives, especially if they have experienced trauma in their lives. The children from the Davidian follow the same routines from the compound when they got to the cottage. These routines included segregating the boys and girls at different tables. In the compound, all decisions were being made for the children. There was no stability. This made it hard for the children to make simple decisions, such as if they wanted peanut butter or jelly on their sandwiches, causing them to become frustrated and angry. When Dr. Perry worked with the children from the Davidian, he made sure the children had stability and routine. He set up a schedule for the children in order for them to know what will happen next. It was important for the children to feel comfortable like they did at home. Failure to thrive. This is when children do not meet the expected standards of growth in both height and weight. Children have reduced level of growth hormones. Without physical stimulation, the body treats the food as waste. In not receiving the physical nurturing, the body does not know that it is wanted and that it is safe to grow. This is comparable to the runt syndrome in animals when a mother neglects the runt, limiting its growth. Laura was not able to gain weight because she did not have the physical and emotional stimulation needed to stimulate growth. Laura's presenting behavior of having a reduced level of growth hormone was impacted by the history of her mother, Virginia, not giving her physical stimulation. Therefore, when Virginia had Laura, she neglected to hold Laura or nuzzle her when she was feeding her. She did not sing or coo and did not rock her. The lack of physical and emotional connection between Laura and her mother caused a delay in her growth development. Virginia did not have the trigger to want to coddle her baby as she did not have that herself. Thus, Laura was diagnosed with failure to thrive. She did not lose or gain weight from emotional neglect. This is also seen in children who were in orphanages. This is seen in Peter, where for the first 3 years of his life was in an orphanage, and then when he was adopted had a developmental delay. Peter developed at a slower rate in some areas and excelled in other areas. Babies are born with the core elements of the stress response already intact and centered in the lower, most important part of the developing brains. Because brains' relational and pleasure mediating neural systems are linked with our stress response system, interaction with loved ones are a major stress modulating mechanism. Thus, introducing a child with emotional support and attention will aid in their recovery.